Imagine waking up in a world where the temperature could fall below 40 degrees C. Towering walls of ice stretched across entire continents. Powerful snowstorms could appear without warning. Food was scarce, winters lasted for months, and every step outside your shelter could become your last. There were no heated homes, no winter jackets, no supermarkets, and no hospitals. Yet somehow, ancient humans didn't just survive this frozen world, they thrived. They hunted giant mammoths weighing several tons, crossed glaciers, explored frozen landscapes, and eventually spread across nearly every continent on Earth. But how did humans survive one of the harshest climates our planet has ever known? The answer is a remarkable story of intelligence, teamwork, and incredible adaptability. Around 20,000 years ago, Earth looked completely different from today. Massive glaciers covered much of North America, Northern Europe, and Asia. Some ice sheets were more than 2 miles thick, slowly creeping across the land like frozen rivers. Sea levels were much lower because so much water was trapped inside ice. Entire land bridges connected continents that are now separated by oceans. The world was colder, drier, and far more dangerous than anything modern humans have experienced. Life during the Ice Age was a constant battle against nature. Every sunrise brought a new challenge. Finding food wasn't guaranteed. Rivers froze solid. Plants disappeared beneath snow for months at a time. A single mistake could mean starvation or freezing to death. But humans possessed something that no other species had mastered quite the same way: our ability to learn, adapt, and cooperate. One of the greatest weapons against the cold wasn't strength. It was clothing. Early humans carefully studied the animals around them. Thick fur protected mammoths, bison, wolves, and reindeer from freezing temperatures. Humans couldn't grow thick fur, so they created their own protection. Using sharpened stone tools, they removed animal hides, scraped away fat, softened the leather, and stitched pieces together with bone needles and animal sinew. These weren't simple blankets. They were carefully crafted clothing designed to trap body heat while allowing people to move freely during long hunting expeditions. Shelter became just as important as clothing. Ancient humans didn't always live in caves, as many people imagine. Whenever caves weren't available, they built shelters from wood, branches, animal hides, and even mammoth bones. In some Ice Age regions, entire homes were constructed using massive mammoth tusks and bones, covered with thick animal skins to block freezing winds. Inside these shelters, small fires burned continuously, providing warmth, light, and protection from predators. Fire was the heart of every camp. Without it, surviving an Ice Age winter would have been nearly impossible. Fire kept families warm through freezing nights, melted snow into drinking water, cooked meat, hardened wooden spear tips, and frightened away dangerous animals. Every evening, someone was responsible for feeding the flames because allowing the fire to die could threaten the survival of the entire group. Food was another enormous challenge. Unlike modern people, Ice Age humans couldn't simply hunt whenever they wanted. Animals constantly migrated in search of grass and water. Hunters had to understand their movements with incredible precision. They followed mammoths, woolly rhinoceroses, giant bison, horses, and reindeer across vast frozen plains. These hunters weren't stronger than their prey, but they were smarter. Working together, groups of hunters developed strategies to surround large animals or guide them toward natural traps like cliffs, deep snow, or muddy ground where escape became difficult. A successful mammoth hunt could feed dozens of people for weeks. Nothing was wasted. The meat provided food. Bones became tools and building materials. Fat became fuel for lamps and fires. Hides became warm clothing and shelter coverings. Every part of the animal helped the community survive, but hunting wasn't the only source of food. Women, children, and elders collected edible roots, berries, nuts, mushrooms, and seeds whenever seasons allowed. Rivers and lakes supplied fish. Along coastlines, shellfish added valuable nutrition. Survival depended on diversity. If one food source disappeared, another could keep the group alive. Perhaps the greatest strength of Ice Age humans wasn't physical at all. It was teamwork. Nobody survived alone. Children learned survival skills by watching experienced adults. Elders remembered migration routes, dangerous locations, and seasonal weather patterns gathered over decades of experience. Hunters shared food with injured members of the group. Parents protected children while everyone worked together to gather resources before winter arrived. This cooperation allowed humans to succeed where many powerful predators struggled. Ancient people also became extraordinary observers of nature. They could read fresh animal tracks hidden beneath snow, predict storms by watching clouds and bird behavior, and identify safe paths across frozen rivers. Their survival depended on knowledge passed from one generation to the next through stories, observation, and experience. As thousands of years passed, humans slowly expanded into new territories. During the Ice Age, lower sea levels created the famous Bering Land Bridge between Asia and North America. Following migrating animals, small groups unknowingly crossed into an entirely new continent. They weren't explorers searching for America. They were simply following food, one generation at a time. That slow migration eventually populated North and South America. Then something remarkable happened. The climate began to change. Around 12,000 years ago, the Ice Age slowly came to an end. Temperatures rose. Massive glaciers melted. Rivers expanded. Forests replaced frozen grasslands. Many giant Ice Age animals disappeared forever, including mammoths and woolly rhinoceroses. Once again, humans faced an entirely new world, but they adapted. Some groups became farmers. Others settled into permanent villages. Hunting remained important, but agriculture gradually transformed human life forever. The survival skills developed during the Ice Age became the foundation for future civilizations. Looking back today, it's almost impossible to imagine surviving in such an unforgiving world. Yet our ancestors accomplished it without electricity, modern medicine, engines, or advanced technology. They relied on intelligence instead of strength, cooperation instead of isolation, and creativity instead of fear. The Ice Age wasn't just a frozen chapter in Earth's history. It was the ultimate test of humanity, and against impossible odds. Humans didn't just survive. They proved they could overcome almost anything nature placed in their path. That extraordinary resilience shaped our species and paved the way for every civilization that followed.